Hey, like my hut? It's me, Ciscoe Morris, and here's what's coming up on Gardening with Ciscoe. If you're going on vacation, you may want one of these to keep your new tree alive. Check out a garden where kids and chickens thrive, thanks to an all-organic and pretty creative approach. We're making summer drinks using the stuff you grow in your garden. Cheers! Plus, learn how to make a bog planter with an orchid that'll thrive outside. All this and more coming up on Gardening with Ciscoe. Hi, I'm Ciscoe Morris.
And I'm Megan Black. Welcome to Gardening with Ciscoe.
We're in Woodinville today in a 5-acre garden. It's a place called Willow's Lodge, and it's a hotel that is actually good for the environment.
Beautiful.
Holy
cow.
I love these gardens. And later on in the show, I get to interview the person that makes all of this grow.
Nice.
She's got the coolest job title of anyone I've ever met.
What's that?
Director of Natural Beauty. I want that title.
That is, I think at your house, you should be the Director of Natural Beauty. You know, the problem is, though, we're heading into the summer season. Eventually, it'll get here. Everything starts to kind of dry up because you're on vacation and you're not there to water it. But we have an ingenious solution. Have you ever heard of an ooze tube? I like the name.
I do too.
So every once in a while, you know you need something in your garden, and finally when you get around to it, it seems like it is the worst possible time to actually plant it. And middle of summer for a tree, not your brightest idea, right?
No, I can't believe it. I love this tree. This Japanese maple bloodgood stays beautifully red, grows big. And not too big, though. It'll give you perfect privacy in summer. But, Megan, this isn't really the right time. I mean, it's so warm out.
I'm doing it anyway because I have a secret, a trick
la.
that you don't even know about.
Oh, man.
So, tell me,
we'll see.
Tell me a little bit about the bloodgood. What kind of fall color does it get?
Well, it gets really scarlet in fall.
Ooh.
And it's one of the best trees to hold its fall color, which I love, And this guy can take quite a bit of sunshine. Some of the Japanese maples burn up. Yeah, I think, we might as well have it going this way real flat. I'll move it just a teens, right like that.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, but I think we should take these lower branches off right now, Megan.
Okay, because I do want it to grow up and not out.
Right, and we don't want this to make it so you can't mow the lawn or anything, But already it's starting to look a lot better than it did.
Okay, now hold on. You ready for the trick?
Yeah, I'm dying to see this trick.
It's an ooze tube. Now, you might have seen these. The cities are using these a lot to save their trees. Oh, I got to put it around the tree.
Oh, yeah.
So you wrap this bag around the tree.
All right.
I'm going to put a stake through it and weave it through.
Wow. Hey, this is pretty cool.
I know. Isn't this slick? For 2 weeks, I don't have to water or fill the bag up again, and it'll water the tree.
You need this around every plant in your garden, including your potted plants.
Wouldn't that be an attractive garden? You want to grab the hose there?
Yeah, here you go. Oh,
Got
boy.
it in the ground here.
All right, we're stuck in there. Good.
Okay, go turn it on.
Right.
We'll stick this in here. Hold on. Let me get it in there. Okay, let her rip. Okay, we're good. Now, there's one more thing you have to do that makes me a little bit nervous.
All right.
I guess that'll leave.
If you're nervous, I'm really nervous. You're the one who knows how this thing works.
You gotta I have to poke a hole in it and put the drain in it.
Oh, geez.
Now on the
You gotta
soil
poke a
side,
hole in it?
Yes, poke a hole in it. It says.
Okay.
So pull this out, and then you stick this little doohickey in, and that's what regulates. No, you know what? Well, I didn't have to be nervous. Now look.
Oh, look at that.
It's just gonna
drip.
drip.
Look at it dripping just real slow.
So it'll do that for 2 weeks. I'll come back out and fill the baby back up, and I don't have to water my tree.
Wow, I'll be darned. You did have a good trick there. Wow.
And it looks okay. I mean, for at least till the tree gets established. I'll probably do it throughout the summer, let the fall when the rains come.
Yeah,
take care
next
of it.
year you won't have to do this.
No,
But if you went on a long vacation, it's nice to have this available.
So how about that? Plant a tree in the middle of summer at half the price.
How about that? I'll be darned. Well, you taught me a new trick.
It's the Ooze tube and a blood good Japanese maple. A great combination.
Cool as can be. So, Megan, I wonder if we could make our own plastic watering tubes out of gallon plastic bags.
Tacky.
Tacky,
In a
yes.
word, tacky. I think a better idea would be to get on the internet, go to your local nursery and ask for those Ooze tubes or a variation thereof, because I gotta tell you, trees survive just fine. Still to come today. Henrika Schraven shows off a landscape that's friendly to both children and chickens. Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from Willow's Lodge. We're in the gardens here in Woodinville. Absolutely spectacular.
Oh, they are. But Megan, I'm so excited.
What?
We get to give away a pair of tickets.
Yes.
To the Squim Lavender Farm Fair.
Lovely.
Yeah, but hey, you got to call this number right here. Be the second caller, and you got to say, oh la la, real good to win them.
And it's July 15th, 16th, and 17th, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be available that weekend,
That's
too.
right.
Okay, we've given you enough time now to call this number. So do that, rush right back, because we've got this fabulous next segment you got to see. Henrika's created this amazing landscape where both chickens and children thrive. Remember what it felt like to play in the woods when you were a kid? Well, that's exactly the feeling Henrika Schraven created in this landscape.
Yeah, I know.
Uncle, there's just so much interesting.
So that's what this is. So this was basically for the kids, so they could roam around under the trees, climb trees, hang out on rocks. And it's kind of fenced in, so they could be like, especially when they were really little, you know, they couldn't get out. And so, but they could still be out under the trees and play with the rocks and do their thing. So.
Low-lying rocks provide a play area beneath mature trees. It looks like these kids are exploring a forest, but they're just feet from their own front door.
I think kids are pretty creative, so instead of giving them too much, you have to let them figure things out by themselves and create their own play areas.
Really, Polly?
So you give them the basics, like rocks to jump on and stuff like that, which is not that common, you know. So don't give them as many toys, but let them get creative.
Henrika's put basalt columns to a new use.
That's what I call a fence post.
And beyond the enclosed play forest, a stone path leads to
Puff, Puff. He doesn't really like boys that much.
Puff Daddy the turkey. Okay. He's one of a handful of poultry pets that thrive here in this all-organic landscape. Right next to the turkey pen is another play area you won't find on the shelves of a local retailer, a stump forest.
We'll set the logs out so these kids can jump back and forth, you know, and sit on them and do whatever they want on them. So, and they get creative right away because one of them is placed too far away to use the plank, and bingo, you know, toys happening.
This future veggie garden is another important element of a kid-friendly landscape, though this little guy looks perfectly content using this space as an ultra-deep play pit.
So the most important thing you see is how deep it is. Because remember, vegetables don't come equipped with jackhammers.
Final touches include a deep layer of wood chips to keep play spaces safe and room in the flower bed for the kids to add plants of their own.
Oh, you want that shovel? Okay, you're a two-man tool guy.
And this landscape is now the perfect place to watch children and chickens grow.
Kids and chickens, what a perfect match.
Doesn't that look like fun? If you were inspired by that, why don't you contact Henrika's Organics? We'll put a link on our website. Just head off to king5.com.
Coming up next, I'm in the kitchen learning how to brew up tasty summer drinks that are fresh from the garden. welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from Willow's Lodge in Woodinville. We're in the herb garden. They actually use these herbs in their cooking here.
Over at the herb farm. I know, I love it.
It's really cool. Hey, speaking of cooking, have we ever done drinks in our cooking segments?
A few libations? No, but I think it's about time.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lynn Villa showed how to come up with all kinds of drinks using everything from herbs to fruit in your garden. Wait till you see the ice cubes she came up with. They're unbelievable. Holy cats, look at all the color. Look at all this stuff. What are we doing here,
We
Lynn?
are doing drinks from the garden today.
Wait a minute. Apples aren't ripe yet.
Ciscoe. Apples. Honey, you just hang out with me, okay? We're going to use melons and herbs and flowers and vegetables and all kinds of fun stuff
Really?
today. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
man, that sounds
I know.
fun.
Very refreshing. So the first thing we're going to make is a cucumber mint chili lime cocktail. Okay.
Chili?
Yeah.
There's chilies
Gotta
in
have
there?
a little spice in there. Okay.
cats,
So here's what
wow.
we did. I just pureed a bunch of cucumbers, strained them out. Okay. Look at that gorgeous color.
Oh, I like that
So
color.
we're gonna add a little bit of that, and then isn't that
smells
fresh?
like a
I know,
cucumber.
I love it. And then equal parts lime juice, of course, freshly squeezed lime juice. This is simple syrup.
What's simple syrup?
Oh, simple syrup is just 1 part water, 1 part sugar, cooked and then chilled.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's a good way to sweeten things without having to dissolve the sugar in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll put the chilies in here, kind of finely chopped chilies, and you can make that as spicy as you want. I'm using jalapenos, kind of love the jalapenos.
Ooh-wee.
And then some fresh mint. Would you give me a big,
Sure. Okay, I love
big
mint.
there you go, perfect. I love it. Okay. And then we're just kind of, stir that together, and then finish that up with some sparkling. This is lime Perrier.
Now, you got to put this in the blender now? or-
No, this is it.
Really?
It's just, the mint and the chilies just kind of steep in there. And then when we pour it out, we'll just kind of lightly strain it, but we'll just let those sit for a little while. And just, isn't that beautiful? And it's sweet and
is
tart and
beautiful.
fresh. It's gorgeous.
Oh, man, I can't wait to try that
So
one.
we'll set that aside, and
All
then
right.
we'll break this down, and I'll set you up for round 2. Okay, ready?
Round 2?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Okay, so this one we're going to do a little, peak of summer melon. And then, well, I'll surprise you with the rest of the ingredients. So you put the
okay.
melon in.
There could be peppers in here.
No peppers.
Oh, good.
No. But
Although I'm anxious to try them in that
I think
cucumber.
you're going to be surprised how much you like it. You like spicy
Oh,
stuff,
I
right?
love spicy
And it won't be super
things.
spicy.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Oh,
Oops. Uh-oh.
that's okay. Throw them all over the place. Do the same with those
So
two.
we got a
Throw 'em all over the place.
watermelon and
And
we used
some
to call
cantaloupe.
this muskmelon when I was a kid.
Okay, and then I'm going to put, this is a combination of
Do I need
just.
to put this lavender
Oh,
in
yeah,
there?
go ahead and dump that in there. That's very important. I know.
Yeah, I don't want to miss that.
And then this is honey and lemon juice. And then the reason I make it kind of, really vibrant with lemon and honey is because we're going to add some sparkling wine to this. So, yes, so we want to spark up the flavor. I know. We had to do that for sure.
I like that.
Okay, so just put your nose in there, just for fun. See if you can smell that lavender. Isn't that just like
yeah,
gorgeous?
I do
and
smell
summery?
the lavender like crazy.
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm going to do what you guys do.
Okay. And so now we're going to add this gorgeous French sparkling rosé to
Oh,
this.
boy. A little more.
And you can put, you can literally put almost the whole bottle in because you saw
Really?
how much honey and lemon
Yeah,
juice we
there's-
added to this.
Yeah.
And so we're really going to, we want to punch up the flavor
Oh, boy.
here. All right, which one would you like to taste, Ciscoe?
Much as I want to try some of that rosé, I've got to try
Try
that
this one? Okay, cool.
cucumber
All right,
drink.
I can't wait for you to taste this. This is so fun.
I'm so curious.
Okay,
Wow.
I'm going to pour myself a little bit of this.
I'm dying to drink it, but I'm waiting for you
I
here.
promise you I'll share.
We have to do a toast to summer here.
Okay, to summer.
To summer. Nostrovia!
Nostrovia. Oh. I'm so happy right now.
That is so good.
Isn't it fun?
It is ultra refreshing, and yet it's got this tingle in it.
And not too sweet, and the mint kind of,
and just
perks it
that,
up.
oh, the mint is great in there, but I also just get a little bit of that
Of
pepper.
the chilies, yeah. Cool.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
To summer.
Oh, to
Yeah.
summer.
All right.
You'll love the living Tweedle out of those drinks. Just go to king5.com for the recipes.
You know, you throw out the lemonade and the iced tea. I'm going with Lynn's things. Up next, our plant pick is an orchid that thrives outside.
And we find out what it takes to be the director of natural beauty here at Willow's Lodge. Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from Willow's Lodge in Woodville. And Megan, it's your favorite part of the show.
Plant pick?
Yeah.
And you know why? Because you love orchids, but I'm going to one-up you on that. This is an orchid that you can plant outside with a little extra care. So I'm at the nursery and they say you have got to see these orchids. They live outdoors.
Yes. Yeah, it's called the bog orchid.
Okay.
Comes from ciscoe, where I grew up.
Yes. Do they spread?
They will. You'll get more and more over time.
Because I guess these are all the new rage. Everyone has to have them, but they're hard to grow.
They have to grow in a bog.
She sold me into the bug-eating plants.
Oh, they're a lot of fun.
And so this I am so confused as to what I'm doing right now because this is a must-have. Oh, by the way, they go really great with this, and you have to do a bog. So we are going to use power tools.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Now, here's how this works. So we've got this soil that's 50-50 mixed perlite and peat moss.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to fill it all the way up, but we want a bog, so we want the bottom to stay full of water, and then it always evaporates up through the top. And that's how a bog works. Okay. So we have to make sure this is always full of water and this is dry on the top or it'll kill the plant.
So you want me to drill a little hole?
Yeah.
Love
Here
my
we
power
go.
tools.
All right.
Got it.
All right, about 3 of them at least. So we got good, because we want that to drain out of there.
Slipper, little guy.
There we go. Now what we want to do is we've got to keep the bottom full of water till that.
Okay.
And then the top, it's just going to always be moist. So we take something with lots of drain holes in it and just bury it in here. This is going to be our watering thing.
Oh, so you pour the water in there then?
And I want it to be just level with the top. So then we can actually, after we plant, we'll fill it up right to the top with this special soil we got here. So, okay, now we got to plant these things. This is going to be a little tricky.
This is going to be a little tricky.
I don't want to kill this special orchid. You know, I'm so jealous, Megan, that you got this.
This might not be as tricky as you think since the bottom half just fell off.
Yeah, same with this. That's good.
Okay. Because now we've got room. Let's see, we've got 2 tall guys. Why don't you put him in the middle?
All right, I think that's a good idea. Plus, all right, I'm going to take a little, there's hardly any roots on this, so I got to make it so it's going to, there we go.
Okay.
So they don't have to be very deep.
So we got one more guy here.
Okay, I'll start digging out for this guy. And if you could break those roots up a lot, that'll help, because we don't have the biggest bog here there ever was.
No, we haven't.
There we go. That's going to be perfect. Oh, la cucina varita.
Now we can put a little back.
Yep, now we can just fill it right to the brim.
Because this is, once again, not the prettiest thing in the world, how about this?
Oh, now that is brilliant. You got drain holes in this, so the water will come out, drain out of this. Okay, I'll grab the hose now, Megan.
Let's fill this baby up.
Yeah, here we go. See, only water right into here, see? And it's going to take a lot of water.
Interesting. And so this is a
let's see what
bog.
happens here.
So I'm certainly hoping we get more orchids, will I?
Yeah.
Go out and create yourself a bog. You know what? I might try and find a few littler plants to fill this baby out.
Yeah, but hey, these all expand and fill in.
Oh, well then maybe I better not.
So you got yourself a cool bog. Wait till you see it start scarfing down on insects. Oh la la.
I can't wait. I know a 5-year-old will love that.
Finally, Megan, I get to talk to the person who makes these gardens so beautiful.
Gonna learn a few tips from the director of natural beauty. She obviously knows what she's doing because this place is darn right gorgeous.
Well, our gardens, I think, are the gateway into that celebration of the senses and sustainability. You walk in the garden in the daytime and you see this incredible, peaceful and beautifully lush green verdant landscape. And then
So Eagle Song, you have the coolest job title of anybody I've ever heard. It would be very fitting for my hair cutter. the Director of Natural Beauty. What's it like to have that job title and that job?
Well, it's actually a great job for me because I have a lot of variety in my work. We actually talked about the Director of Beauty, and then they said, no, that's not right, because people would think they were coming to get their hair done. And so added the word in, natural beauty, and it was a collaboration, 3 people brainstorming in a totally spontaneous moment, and they said, well, I guess that makes you the Director of Natural Beauty. And I said, yes, I want new cards right now. Well, we're interested in having a great business and a lively business. It has to be connected to the earth. And so how do we co-create an incredibly beautiful place to share with people? And that's where the Director of Natural Beauty came from.
Well, you're the right person for that job.
And
I'll
I'm
tell
having
you
a lot of
that much.
fun doing it.
Thanks so much for watching today. You know, Willow's Lodge is such a fabulous place. You can come stay the weekend, you can eat at their fabulous restaurants, or you can just walk the grounds and have a great time and enjoying them.
Yeah, it's too great. Hey, do you mind calling me the Director for Natural Intelligence from now on?
You know, in your dreams, I'll do whatever you want, dear.
la, la.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
You are the Director of Intelligence.
I am.